I think that's Twitch's hint for us to say, okay, Rachel, the thing's falling apart at the seams. Let's have nap time pretty soon. Please and thank you. Pretty soon we're going to have a little nap time and have a rest and say, good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night. Oh, right, of course, the question. Oh, right, of course, the question. Oh. Whoops. Okay. Chat that question one more time. Pretty, please. Didn't expect it to be so difficult. Oh dear. Not, yeah, that really is just the jumping out of a tower screaming card. When did the fear set in as your life arrives? Okay. For our last reading of the night, chat has put together a question collectively using an adorable little improv game. And the question is, when did the fear set in when your life arrives? And I think this is a very poignant question for me, because I'm sort of coming to understand myself. So I think I'm going to do this towards me. So this will be 1, 2, 3. Past, present, future. And the way I'm choosing to interpret that is sort of the fear sets in, your life arrives, and sort of this is our when question. So we'll say the chariot to start out with. And that's on page 157. When this card appears in a reading, you may feel that you are having to face the difficulty, feeling one thing, and knowing logically that you ought to do something contrary to that feeling. Interesting. To me, that reads as this fear is a fear of conflict. This fear is a fear of born of shaving yourself down to the barest nub to avoid conflict. This card. So the fear, your life arriving, is a fear that is coupled with sort of, what? Feeling one way, but logically knowing you ought to feel a different way. The Tower, 175. Let's see. The Tower encourages us to face our inner worlds honestly, sifting through what we have been taught and the rules which we have lived to discover. So perhaps the beginning of this world was sort of an understanding that there were certain base rules which we had previously gone unquestioned, which required interrogation. I think this is when the fear arrived, and the fear is this feeling of feeling one way and believing perhaps in a logical framework that you ought to be a different way. You're sort of realizing that there are different things about you. You are different, and It's a difficult thing to confront. I think that's a very scary thing to confront. Let's get some guidance for the future from our friend, the Page of Pentacles, in the next one. Page of Pentacles, which is on 1, 2, 7. Oh shoot. Well, my phone just died, so this will be an exclusive for you all. What's the future hold for our old friend Rachel? Page of Pentacles, 1, 2, 7. This card appears in a reading. May point to the arrival in your life of a serious, thoughtful person who either helps you to found something or perhaps sets a good example in making careful plans for the beginning of a project. Well, I've basically been given carte blanche to have as much BPD as I want. Thank you all for watching. Will this be a VOD? Yes, probably. But it'll have to be a weird one, because there's so much asynchronous material, and a lot of it is relevant. Good night. Oh, where are you, mouse cursor? Mouse cursor, mouse cursor. Give us a saucer of milk and some deviled eggs. End of stream?